Hi, it's Dave here. I'm with my wife, Cathy.
Hello.
And we have some very special guests with us that flew in all the way from Ireland. My sister, Dani.
Hello.
And our husband, John.
Hello.
They came over especially to watch the movie Peter Rabbit.
Because we have no cinemas in Mallow.
At a parent baby screening with us. And because we think that my family have probably been completely overrepresented on this podcast at this point.
We're all sick of Linda and her brilliant opinions.
We need a few more Corkeries.
Yeah, exactly. A few more Corkeries.
Oscar is also here, FYI.
Yes.
So guys, what was it about this movie that made you go on Ryanair as soon as possible? And
no, it was Aer Lingus. It was that important.
What does anyone know anything about this movie? We should say we're going to a parent baby screening again.
We're waiting for the bus.
It's the only thing they're showing. It's not. I don't think any of us are sort of jumping.
Ho ho ho! Don't answer for me, Dave. I love rabbits.
What do you like most about rabbits?
It's just a spring in their step.
They really are quite springy.
And it was, remember the trailer came out last year and everyone was saying oh my god, what have they done? They've absolutely destroyed Peter Rabbit. There was a really obnoxious trailer and James Corden is the voice and everyone was slamming the whole thing and then everyone was ready to hate it. But once it came out, it actually got pretty decent reviews, I think. But there was a big incident where it was accused of allergy-bullying. Did you read about that? So apparently,
what's allergy-bullying?
Yeah, there's a character in this movie who's allergic to something, and I can't remember what, some food stuff. And one of the bunnies really obnoxiously, they ram it in their face and make them have an allergic reaction. So there was a big outcry amongst parents saying actually that shouldn't be advocated. So I did read about the allergy bullying, but the other point is that people are saying it's actually a pretty nice movie, and the trailer was just wildly wrong. Now Dave and I both saw the trailer in Spanish when we were recording our 100th episode.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, that looked good.
I think I preferred the Spanish James Corden to the real guy. So you guys, I know you don't have any allergies, Danielle.
No.
John, do you have any allergies?
No, not at all.
Oh, so there's nothing we could just force down your throat for laughs at this screening? No?
I don't like coffee.
Well, actually, at the parent baby screening, you always get coffee, John. So can I have yours?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So we're throwing hot coffee at John.
Yeah, I'll just have a water without
Straight
the coffee,
away.
please.
Yeah. Okay,
Right.
we better go
Here
get
comes
this
the
bus.
Yeah. All right. See you
Checking on the new neighbour. I'll explain it to him. We all share our land around here. Hello, I'm Bee. These gates are incredibly sturdy.
I just need to keep the wildlife out where they belong.
You're joking, right?
Yes. They're angels. This is their place.
Okay, so he's tricked her. There's only one way out of this. He's gotta go.
Did you know they set traps in my bed?
He's a rabbit. He wouldn't hurt anyone.
All right, we're just out of Peter Rabbit. We're waiting for a bus home. While we're waiting, why don't we talk about the movie we saw? It's called Peter Rabbit. It's about
A rabbit.
It's about a rabbit. His name's Peter. It's based on the Beatrix Potter sort of classic books that I have a passing familiarity with. Dani, we had these as kids.
We
do you
did,
remember?
yeah, but I don't really... I vaguely remember them, but I don't...
Same.
I don't remember the story.
No, I remember the illustrations vividly.
Yeah.
Don't remember what happened. I guess he was a rabbit and they...
He's wearing a
stole
blue
the
top.
page. yeah.
That's it.
This movie is set around Peter Rabbit and his friends as they sort of try and steal vegetables from a cranky farmer's garden. Then his nephew inherits the land, played by Donald Gleeson, and then it's sort of a rom-com situation between him and Rose Byrne, the neighbour, with a lot of hijinks. Hijinks ensue. Guys, what did you think?
Yeah, nice show. Very kind of whimsical, charming.
Yeah,
It was funnier than what I thought.
it was funny.
It was hilarious.
We were laughing a lot,
It's a kid show, but there's a lot of adult humour in it.
and not like adult.
No.
No. There's no innuendos or anything like that in it, but it's kind of I found
There
myself
was
laughing
plenty
at it
for
quite
us.
a bit.
It was a smart screenplay. It was
Oh yeah,
there was a lot of clever jokes in it.
and I thought the whole film was going to be animated, but it's actually real life, with the rabbits being the animation in real life scenarios, scenes and all that.
Yeah, they're it's like 3D animation,
Yeah.
which meant I guess that Donald Gleeson was interacting with nothing, which makes
Dick, probably.
his performance even more impressive, because I thought he was brilliant.
He was very good.
Very good. Yeah.
He's the star. It was a funny... I had no expectations. I was giving this movie the benefit of the doubt based on kind of the reaction to the trailer had been so bad, and then I'd heard people saying it was so good. But it was a funny movie because I had two feelings of it, which were that the scenes with Donald Gleeson I wholeheartedly loved. I think he's amazing. He's such a good physical actor. He's so funny and he's so charming, and I really enjoyed his love story with Rose Byrne. And then the scenes, like the opening scene, I hated with Peter Rabbit, was so annoying. All the music was so jarring, and all the stuff with the rabbits and his siblings. Like it's a strange thing to watch a kids movie where I disliked all the animated characters. Like I found them intensely annoying, except for this one cousin character who I thought was quite cute.
And the rooster.
Yeah, the rooster was funny.
Oh,
so I hated Peter, and I hated his siblings, and I hated every scene with just them. I only enjoyed their scenes when he was interacting with the humans.
Cathy hates cute animals.
No, but they weren't cute. I found them really obnoxious. And then the only bits I liked were because Rose Byrne's basically playing Beatrix Potter. She's called Bee, and she draws the images of them. And her illustrations were so pretty. And at one point we got some hand-drawn illustrations of the rabbits, and I thought I'd like to be watching that movie of the hand-drawn illustrations, or I'd like to be watching a rom-com with Donald Gleeson. This mishmash of sentimental versus kind of self-winking, like there was a lot of jokes kind of made for adults' sake, like where Peter's like smoking a joint but he's actually eating a carrot and stuff. I just didn't really get it.
Some of that didn't really land.
Yeah.
I will say the movie tries really hard to land as many jokes as possible. Like I felt like every second is like everything he said was joke, quick fire, and they don't all land. But the hit rate is high. I thought this was very funny.
I was surprised at how much I was laughing in there.
And everyone was laughing. Yeah.
Like so, it works as a comedy. It works as a rom-com. I think I can't say does it work as a kids film because we didn't really have any kids. We had babies. They didn't seem to give two shits.
And also, I found when Peter Rabbit was talking, it was James Gordon. I was imagining James Gordon as Peter Rabbit. I wasn't imagining Peter Rabbit. Like all his mannerisms and everything. I was like, that's what James Gordon's mannerisms were.
I didn't enjoy his. It's funny. I'm a James Gordon fan. I know lots of people don't like him. Like I think he's a very talented man and he's good at what he does. But I didn't enjoy his performance in this. He's annoying.
I think you said obnoxious. I think it's a little bit sort of. Do you know what? It felt like trying too hard to be cool. It felt like sort of a product of the 90s, like this over radical, extreme sort of, hey, I'm a cool guy and I'm everyone's friend and I'm smarmy.
And then at one point it was like, if you steal my sunshine, it's all the rabbits just running wild. And I was like, this is really like, what's the message for kids here? That like you loot someone's property? I don't know. I thought it was a bit. That was a bit strange.
Or when you have a free house and have a house party.
Yeah, that's what it was like.
And wreck it with a load of vegetables.
It was like a better version of The Secret Life of Pets, which we have reviewed before. It was the pet stuff was done better in this when they're trashing the house. Yeah.
But if you view this movie, it's very easy to view this movie with Donald Gleeson as the hero and Peter Rabbit as the villain.
Yeah.
Because
Peter Rabbit's horrible.
Peter Rabbit bullies him for the whole thing.
Absolutely.
And we did see the allergy-bullying. It was horrible. It was actually a really dangerous scene, what he was doing to him with those blueberries.
Yeah, we mentioned that in the beginning. This isn't a spoiler, but because we mentioned it already, they attack him with blueberries, which he's allergic to, and they know that. They deliberately aim for his mouth. He swallows them and goes into
anaphylaxis.
Thank you. You're the
John's
paramedic.
That's why we brought John on.
I missed that bit. I must have been with Oscar at that stage.
Then he has to take out an Epipen and
I definitely missed that bit.
He did it all wrong.
With Oscar at that
He did it all wrong.
So John, was this an accurate representation?
You're not meant to give your medication through clothes. You're meant to have on a bare skin. So.
But what if you're in the middle of that shock? Is it okay to deliver?
Well, in fairness, like he saved himself, so I can't exactly say he did it wrong.
Would he have passed out from the
Not so quickly.
Right, this movie's bullshit.
That's when I realised how physically bendy and fit Donald Gleeson is, because he's kneeling down and he managed to completely lie backwards with his back on the ground, like in a full yogi pose, basically.
So he mightn't have done the Epipen properly, but are we forgetting the fact that it was a rabbit that threw the blueberries in his mouth in the first place?
That's besides the point, Dani. The man was an anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, it's funny, and I don't think we need to do a spoiler street on this movie. It's safe to say, Peter Rabbit redeems himself a little bit at the end, but he's the true villain. He's the true villain of the piece. Like, he's vile.
He's a vile little rabbit.
And it's a funny thing, because there was something I liked in the movie, which was that very casually Donald Gleeson's boss at the start is a woman, and there's a taxi driver who's a woman. Now, usually in all movies, particularly kids' movies, those roles would be played by men, so I really enjoyed that. But then I didn't enjoy the fact that Peter Rabbit and his male cousin did all the hijinks, and it was always, well, the girls can't do this, what if the girls get hurt? And that was really annoying me about his sisters.
And that female taxi driver was hilarious.
Yeah, she was good, wasn't she?
She was very good.
She was good.
Yeah.
So I think, Cathy, what you're saying is you'd have rather watched this movie Peter Rabbit without the rabbits?
No.
So just Peter.
I would rather watch a wholesome, sweet, animated Peter Rabbit, like fully hand-drawn animated
That's
Peter
what
Rabbit
I
movie.
thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I thought it would be a really sweet story, and I was kind of shocked at the beginning that I was laughing so much, and they were doing all these hijinks, and maybe, is that in the stories, in the books, that they're doing all these hijinks and stuff?
From memory, they're very sort of plain and sweet natured.
Yeah, so I was a bit shocked with
And
that.
I think that's what they referenced when they zoned in on a hand-drawn image of the parents, and they said if this was this kind of story, the parents would deliver this lovely message. Then they zoomed out of the hand-drawn and said, but we're a funny story, narrated weirdly by Margot Robbie doing an English accent.
Yeah, didn't understand
Yeah,
that.
the was weird.
The narration was weird.
Where was Sia?
You see is in this movie, but I don't know who she is.
She was the rabbit with the wig on.
Oh, really? Oh, no. That would have been amazing.
So we're not meant to see her, maybe.
She was turned around, you couldn't see her face.
And apparently Daisy Ridley was in it. Don't know who she played. Probably a rabbit. Like, totally unnecessary celebrity voice casting.
It's a funny one because, like, obviously they want to update these things and make them modern, but the pop sort of soundtrack felt very jarring. And there were some weird tracks in there, like at least 2 Vampire Weekend tracks, which like
random.
Can you imagine like Vampire Weekend's agent getting this request for like we really want to use you in the Peter Rabbit movie? Like what? Our
your
wedding
song.
was
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
I had just turned to Dave and been like, I hate the music in this movie. It's so annoying. And then the song from our wedding that we did our first dance to came on, and then we were like, no, like a little cuddle on the sofa. So then I mean that probably would have given this movie like a 3 out of 5, and it probably got bumped up to a 4 for using that song. But again, and that worked in a romantic montage. But then the other songs didn't work for me at all. So,
but it's weird if you put on the Spotify playlist of this, it would be really jarring.
strange.
by Spotify playlist, do you mean the soundtrack to the movie?
Yeah, whatever.
You're such a millennial.
How else do you listen to music? I don't know, buy a CD.
But so, like, to me, this worked
The bus is here.
more as an adult movie than a kids movie, I think. But as we said, there were no kids. Now we have to say Oscar really enjoyed it, and there's a point that was in the trailer where a pig screams really loudly, and then Oscar screamed really loudly, which was really weird.
And
he's
hilarious.
Hilarious. Like,
If
lots
you've
of
seen the
people were
trailer, yeah, so Donald Gleason screams when he sees the pig, then the pig screams in return, and then Oscar, like, perfect comedy timing, screamed as well.
Oh, it was brilliant.
It was
the whole
brilliant.
thing actually was like laughing
We'll
at that.
continue talking, but we're getting on the bus. So I think it's kind of a resounding surprise to all of us that we laughed so much, and we all enjoyed it. It's a nice outing. None of us would have gone to it if it wasn't the parent-baby screening of the day.
I wouldn't bother, like, paying money to go see this. Go watch it, like, on a Sunday afternoon with your children or niece and nephew, because I think there's a lot of sort of cartoon comedy hijinks to keep kids entertained. We all thought it was really funny, so I think there's enough in there for adults.
I didn't laugh though at any of the scenes without Donald Gleason in them. I think he's the absolute star of the show.
Donald Gleason is outstanding. Like
Very much so.
He's like, his comedy, British accent and stiff upper lip stuff was just spot on.
Physically, he's a proper like old school physical comedy. Like he does that so well. I
There's a
really
scene-
enjoyed it.
This
And he
isn't a
took on his trait of his uncle. Like he wasn't like this when, with kind of a spoiler, but when he was given the house from the uncle, and then he kind
Neil.
of continued on.
Oh yeah, and he said
From
to Peter Rabbit, "You
the
made me
same-
like this. I
yeah.
was nice until I met you." Like Peter Rabbit goaded him into his behaviour.
More proof
He
that
was stiff.
Peter Rabbit was the villain.
Yeah.
But there's also this isn't a spoiler, but Donald Gleason deserves an Oscar for his fight with a giant stuffed teddy bear.
Yes.
That was brilliant.
Yes, very much so.
That was really good. I loved him. And do you
Almost
know what?
like Leonardo DiCaprio and the bear.
Except they didn't have sex. Wasn't that the rumour that they'd done it on that movie?
Kathy's never seen The Revenant.
No, I haven't
clearly,
seen it.
and
But
you're
wasn't
just
there
making
some?
up rumors
No, there was some
about it.
crazy rumour about him
That
and the
he
bear.
was, supposedly.
You
Yeah.
saw that, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think at that time that he was, but
There was
He
a
had
rumour.
sex with the bear.
I'm sure there
well,
was
no,
a
that the
spoiler
bear
going
kind
around
of
about the
raped
plot.
him in the scene.
Yeah, there was weird rumours going around about that about the character, not the actor.
Okay, well, what are you talking about?
Okay,
This is
right.
taking a really weird detour.
Total detour. But
so
yeah,
yeah, I
Donald
think-
Gleason starred the show. Rose Byrne did a fine performance, but nothing interesting. She was just, the kind of manic pixie dream lady. I'm an artist. I'm so pretty. I do
Yeah.
yoga. I float around on a bike.
Did you think it was weird that they kept making like reference of what a kind of weird bad painter she was? The narrator does it. Donald Gleason's trying to figure out what the painting is, and then and all her paintings are really like weird and obscure. And then it's like, oh, and I also do rabbits. And then it's just Beatrix Potter's perfectly illustrated rabbit. It's like, what? It's not the same person.
I think they were trying to be too clever, calling her Bee and make her Beatrix Potter. It looked beautiful. Like the scenery was beautiful. It was all lovely looking. It made me want to go to that town.
But you know what? I was thinking of Paddington during this, and I think that movie did a better job of translating a classic British children's story into a real world setting without sort of shoehorning in like modern quips and pop soundtrack and all this kind of thing. That sort of still felt very classic, while also being funny, and it had all the hijinks and all that as well.
Yeah, true.
So I kind of wished this movie was a little bit more like that.
Yeah,
but that's
like
it.
this movie was, I would probably sum it up and saying it's a little bit try hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was trying, but then...
And it's very much of its moment. Like, you would watch this movie in a few years and be like, oh yeah, that was set around like 2018.
But then it tried so hard that it ended up succeeding more often than it failed.
But if you make 100 jokes, 50% of them are going to land.
Well, not always.
Well, no, but you've
Have you
got
ever seen a Scary Movie 8? Or one
I
of
haven't.
those
I
things?
thought it was hilarious. I distinctly remember Dave and I going on a date in Mallow Cinema to see Scary Movie 3.
I remember that as well.
Yeah.
Charlie Sheen played the president.
It was very romantic.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
But totally aside. So, guys, thank you for coming on the cinema.
Thanks for having us.
Excited.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Thanks for flying over.
Especially, we finally got another sister on the podcast. We've only one left to go. Sarah, I know you don't listen to us, but you should come on the podcast. You've never listened to us and you don't care about
She's
our podcast.
not listening right now either.
She's not listening. And guys, do you follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter?
Of course.
Great. Have you rated us 5 stars on Apple iTunes?
Of course.
Out of fear.
They weren't even trained to do that.
They weren't.
I think we just got all our family in
I
line.
know, John, I asked John last night, I actually said, do you have an iPhone? And he was like, no. And I was like,
Yeah.
And guys, where can you find us on Facebook and Twitter?
At the cinema.
Yes. The fear in your eyes there, the
Did I
panic.
get that right?
okay, so you'll have to come over next week again for the Parent Baby screening.
Of course.
Did you enjoy your first experience of Parent Baby?
I actually loved the parent and baby
Yeah.
screening. It was amazing.
It's fun, isn't it?
So cool.
You get delivered snacks.
And all the buggies lined up at the end of the rows. And
It's
amazing.
such a comfy city.
Yeah,
It is really good.
amazing. All right.
One last thing before we go. My favourite joke in the whole movie was the deer staring in the headlights.
It was really funny. It was funny, even though I was like annoyed by it. I was like, it's so obvious, but it's making me laugh.
All right, bye everyone.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.
Felix, blink! Blink!
It's live.